Hi everyone, my name is Romy and welcome to the Make Something series. In this series, I help you build something without code in less than an hour every week. So today, I'm going to help you sell a product online by building your own website. Because of the global pandemic, all our lives have been affected in some way, and we're all struggling to continue living and working virtually. So I figured I'd love to help anyone out there who are trying to continue business as usual by selling your product online. Before we get started, I want to talk to you about two important concepts: scope and scale. It's easy to be ambitious and say, let's build a website. But the term website can be very broad and very complex. So, what we need to do is define what we need to do by building a website, which is what scope is. So, let's get into this habit for all our videos. One, we define what we want to happen. And two, then we'll go ahead and build it, not the other way around. In this video, I want to build a one-page website that helps your customers pay by credit card for whatever product you're selling. We will break down the scope further later in the video. Now, let's get to the scale part. I don't know how popular you are and how many people will want to buy a product online, but it could be anywhere from 1 to a million. Now the question is, do we design the products for a million people or for that one super fan of yours? In today's video, I want to help my friend Larissa, who's a yoga teacher, to take her classes online. The approach I'll take is that a handful of people will attend every class, say 20. Now don't get me wrong, I want Larissa to be wildly popular and have a million people take her classes, but that will take a more complicated and a completely different system. For now, she doesn't need to spend all the resources to build a complicated website, and she can scale up as she becomes popular, which she hopefully will after this video. We'll be going over this video in 3 sections: building the website, configuring the payments, and then finally testing and connecting the whole thing together. Ready? Let's do this. So the tool I'll be using today is Carrd. Carrd is a great way to build one-page websites. Now, if you're wondering what Carrd is, I've done a great introduction to Carrd in one of my previous videos. I've linked it in the description box below. I would recommend you pause this and watch that one first, even though I know how annoying it is to pause a video midway. I promise you it'll be worth your time. Here we are on the homepage of Carrd, and we can switch between different templates. Now, how do you know which one to pick? Let's pause here and visualize what we want on Larissa's yoga website. An intro section, an about section, a class section where people can sign up for her classes, and lastly, a contact section. Now let's go back to the Carrd website and look at these templates. The profile templates seem to be on the shorter side and look like small about pages, which won't work for us. The form templates just look like a quick way to get in touch with you, which won't work for us either, which leave us with these landing page templates or section templates, and they seem way more versatile. I actually like the section templates more because they give a feel of a multiple page website, even though Carrd is a tool for single page websites. This demo button here lets you see any template in action. I kind of like this template because it has space for lots of pictures. I'm thinking I should add lots of pictures of Larissa doing her complicated yoga positions, which I definitely do not have the flexibility for. Now we have a template. Let's start working on it to make the website we want. A helpful tip: write down all the text you want to put in your website in a handy document before you start editing. Here is how mine looks. I've organized it into the 4 sections we described. Another helpful thing you can do is to collect all the images you want to put on the website into a folder for easy access. Honestly, this is the most organized I've ever been. I should do more of these videos. These images, in tech jargon, are called static assets. Just a side note here, I know these may seem complicated words, especially if you're not a computer engineer. Before I knew how to code, my brain would shut down when I heard of any concept involving APIs and servers. But I realized these terms actually have simple meanings. And you need to learn and get comfortable with this language, but you do not need to know how to code. We will encounter some of these words in the tools we use. And whenever we do, instead of cringing and letting our brains shut down, I'll call out definition alert and we'll go over what it means. And you'll see in a few videos, you'll be super comfortable with them. Think of it like a new language. Uncomfortable at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's no big deal. All right, so now it's very simple. We just go into every element and edit it. Let's tackle the intro section first. It's a matter of copy pasting from our text document and then adding images. So here goes the text. And there's the image. That looks great. Now let's edit these three buttons. So let's click on each element and change the label. So classes first, then about, and lastly, contact. Now let's jump ahead to the about section because it's the most straightforward. All I need to do is enter the about text here and then put in this picture. Oh wow, she can do a headstand? I can't even touch my toes. The next section is the contact section. In Card, if you go to the sections, which is this hashtag button here, you will see two sections, contact and contact done. The contact section is simply a form that your customers can fill out to get in touch with you. You always want to hear what your customers have to say. All right, so minimal changes are needed on this one. Let's copy this text here and done. The contact done section is essentially what your customer will see after they fill in the form. So let's edit this quickly as well. We just need to thank them for getting in touch. And there you go. Finally, let's get to the classes section. What I will do is to have a way for people to sign up and pay for classes. First, let's make it look pretty and add a cool yoga picture here. The picture I want to add, I actually got from Unsplash. If you go to Unsplash, there are thousands of high quality free images which you can use. I like this one and I've already downloaded it into my static assets folder. So here, I've uploaded the picture and that looks great. Then let's edit the text here and put something about the classes from the copy document. So here, I need to make a list of all available classes online. And it's not just enough to have a list. We want to have a way for people to sign up and pay for each class. How do I make this happen in Card? Now, I'm going to introduce you to a new element called the widget. To add a widget, we have to click on the plus button on the bar used to add an element, select widget, and there you go. Now let's list 3 classes in the upcoming weeks, and each will have to be its own widget. In the widgets menu, the first thing that Card asks you to select is type, and we'll select Stripe Checkout. Stripe is a payment service which lets your website accept payments. We'll talk more about it later. Let's change the label to the date and time of the class. The rest of the details I'll talk about later in the payment section. Now, if you look at the page, I don't like that the last class widget is too close to the back button. What I will do is maybe move some of this intro text below. And for that, I'll add another text element from the bar. This is an important process in building. You imagine one thing, but when you see it on the page, it looks different. So sometimes you need to tweak to see what looks best. There you go. That looks so much better. And that's it. We're done with the basic website build. It's time for a recap. This is what we have now. A website ready to go with a few sections. An introduction, a list of classes, an about, and a way to contact you. Now, all we need to do is to connect Stripe to the classes so people can pay by credit card, and we're good to go. In the widget menu, there's something called a success URL. Essentially, it's a page that will be shown to your customers once a payment goes through successfully. For that, we need to create a section on card. To add a new section, we will first make sure we are not in an active section by clicking on this arrow. Then we'll go to plus and add a control element. Once a control element is up, we'll call it success. There, a new section is added. Here, we'll add an element which is a container. Then we'll go to add a new style and add the new default one. There, you see a white box in the screen. All we'll need is a text box here. Also, let's add a button here so that they can go back to the main page if they want. So we'll go and type it in. And then change the URL to point to the home page, which is #home. There you go. Now we're all set to publish the site. Now, publishing a site to card is super easy. I'll be publishing it to a test card URL, but it'll also show you how to publish it to a custom domain. So you click on this icon here on the top bar, put in the title, description, and then select the URL. For a card URL, you'll need to specify which one and hit publish, which I'm doing now. And the site is live. It doesn't accept payments yet, which we will tackle soon. Now, more likely, you'll want a custom domain, probably with your name, and that is equally easy. For that, you click on Publish to Custom Domain. To register your domain, there are many options. In the description box below, I've put together a link which Card gives you to follow for each company. So now we've built the front end of the website where people can sign up for classes or browse whatever products you're selling. But now, more importantly, we need to have a way for people to pay you for these and for these payments to actually go to your bank account. So the tool we'll be using for payments is called Stripe. By the way, Stripe is a really cool tool for developers, which allows them to accept payments on websites or apps. But we don't need to be coders or developers to make this happen. Look, fair warning, this may look like a mountain, but it's just a molehill, and I promise you we can climb it together. It's just 5 steps. Let's start. Step 1. First, we create an account on Stripe. You go to dashboard.stripe.com and you will see this sign up page. So here you have the usual username, password, and all those things to sign up. But to activate the account, you will need to add in some extra things, like your bank details. That's the whole point, right? You need to get the money. Just stick with it. I promise it'll take less than 10 minutes. So now, once you log in, this is what your Stripe account dashboard will look like. Hey, I get it. I know this looks super complicated. But just trust me, I'll show you how simple it is. In fact, step 2 is hardly more than toggling a button. At the left navigation menu here, right at the bottom, you see settings. Click on that. And now we'll scroll down to the product settings. Now, Stripe offers multiple products for making payments work, and the product we're going to use today is Checkout. So let's click on Checkout settings. And the only thing to be done on this page is to toggle this button from disabled to enabled. I told you it was just one step, right? It's done. And while we are here, let's also add in the domain of the website we need to link Stripe to. I'm going to use a test domain. And that's done. In Card, let's open a widget element by clicking on the widget. And you see, we have to enter a product SKU. Now hold on, definition alert. A SKU is sort of a unique number, like a barcode, which uniquely identifies your product. How do we get a SKU? This is what Stripe will provide us when we create a corresponding product in Stripe. So let's go back to Stripe and create those. Now, Stripe has 2 types of products, test and live. We are going to add one test product for testing and then the actual live products. To create a test product, enable the View Test Data button here in the left nav. Then go to Products in the nav and add a new test product. Now see how easy it is to track whether we're working with test or live data because of the orange highlight at the top. Then we'll create the actual products. Toggle off the View Test Data. Go to Products in the nav again and then select one-time checkout product and then add the live products. The way we'll structure this is we'll add one product called yoga class. Like, think of this as a main category. And then 3 different SKUs for different classes we're offering. So let's do this. We have 1 SKU for every class. That's on May 24th, May 31st, and June 1st. Click plus here to add a new SKU. Each class will be $10. And there, it's created. So first, let's work with the test data. Why do we need to test? We're dealing with credit cards, which have highly sensitive information. And so, before you start accepting payments, you want to make sure everything is working correctly. The smart thing to do is test the payment process. And of course, you don't want to test by spending $100 of your own money. So, Stripe has set up some test data and cards to help you. Simply click on the test product we created, and here we see we can pick up the SKU and paste it in card. So I'll just do that. Also, if you scroll down in the widget element, you see a place to enter API keys. Hold it, definition alert. API is just a way to get data from a website. In this case, it's Stripe, which is sending your website payment data. And a key is essentially the way someone can validate your identity. It tells them it's you. You know, like a password. Here is what we'll do. Since we are dealing with payments, we'll first put in some test keys, and then once that works, we'll put in live ones. So let's toggle on the test data here, which will give us test API keys. Click developer on the nav bar, and then select the option API key. I select the publishable key, copy that. Let me go to the card widget element and paste it there. Same thing again. Let me select the secret key. And let's paste that in card as well. Now, instead of doing that for all the other products, let's first test this out. So let's go to our live publish card website. Let's pretend for a moment I'm a customer and I want to pay for one of these amazing yoga classes. I think the next Sunday one works for me because that's when I'm free. Who am I kidding? I'm a mom. I'm never free. Anyway, we select a class. Look at this. You can actually see an entire credit card form pop up. Enter the test credit card details that Stripe has provided. I've linked them below. And the folks at Stripe have really thought of everything. They have all possible card services for testing. Now, when I click on pay, and yay, money in my account. Oh wait, this is a test. Never mind. I think we're ready to go live. Now we go back to Stripe, and the process for a live test is pretty similar. The only thing we change is replace our test API keys with live ones. To do that, again, developer menu here, and then toggle this button off from view test data. Now the publishable key shown here is the actual live key, uniquely associated with your Stripe account. But we also need to create a secret key to use in our card website. Now, why do we need to bother with another long random string of numbers? I'm no cryptography expert, but even I know that this secret key makes the payment process highly secure. It's similar to the two-step authentication most of us have seen in apps like email. To create a secret key, click on this plus button, and we're going to assign a name to the key. I'm going to call it the application or the website I'm connecting it to. So it's easy for me to remember what each secret key is for. And like Stripe reminds you, you must save this key somewhere secure, because Stripe will only show you this key once. Told you, they take security very seriously. So we follow the same steps again. We go back to card, click on the class widget, open the menu, and then enter the 2 keys. Now rinse and repeat for every other class. And there, we are done. So now, to show you how it will work, I'll make a demo payment. Enter my credit card details. I press pay, and that seems to have worked. Every time a customer pays, Stripe sends you an email notification. But also, I can go back to Stripe to check if a payment has been made successfully. I go to the Customers tab in the left nav. And there you see, you have your very first customer. Wait, does this mean Larissa tricked me into doing yoga with her? Let's do a recap of what we did here on the Stripe end. We created an account, enabled checkout, created products, both test and actual ones, tested the flow using test data, and finally connected the whole thing together using live data. So that's it. In 1 hour, we built a website, we took your product online, and we even got people to pay for it. I used a yoga class website for this example, but you can adapt the same thing into any activity or product you want to take online. I hope this video helped you. Now, some notes on the upcoming videos. In the next 3 weeks, we will be building on this series. I will show you some ways you can manage your workflow once more than a few people sign up, and also some cool new features you can add. If you do use this tutorial and you run into any issues at all, and I know you will because I did, I will be doing a debugging video in the coming weeks. If you liked this tutorial and want to know when the follow-up videos are coming out, please hit like and subscribe to this channel, and send me your thoughts, your questions, and any other things you want to learn how to build. So see you next week, and I hope you had fun in today's session. This is Romy, and I hope this week you'll make something. Bye!